Oh my, we are talking about a little bit of a spicy book today. Hello and welcome to The Bad Reader. This is the Communist Manifesto. More importantly, I'm going to be very careful with how I phrase this. A more, I want to say normal, but that really doesn't sound good. So I'm going to say just like a non communist thinking person reads the Communist Manifesto. This is a book that actually originally, way before The Bad Reader, I had a banned book club. And if you want to see more on crazy books that I've got actual banned books. I can't stand when you hear banned books on YouTube and they're like 1984. There's some rough books out there, but this was on the list. And from a non-political perspective, we were essentially bringing banned books or more out of the ordinary books from every angle, from every level of the political spectrum, from everything, and reading it from an unbiased view. Now, for me, politics is not something that I enjoy. I really would not be under either party at this point in time. Especially if you know any of my other work here on YouTube, you might understand my political ideologies. But needless to say, communism is definitely not one of them. I went into this book just trying to give it everything I got, and you know what? I got to say, it's an unbelievably short read, and I hated every minute of this book. Now, I know many of you guys are going to say, like, oh, wait, well, Joe, there's better books about communism. I get it. Not only do you got to understand, like, politics a lot of the time goes way over my head, but I got to say, dude, even if you were, like, some sort of legit communist person, this book is the one of the driest, most boring books I have ever read, and it is literally, let's get like a rough page count. It's like 70 pages. And there's a lot of flaws and fallacies that I see here, not even from a more political aisle, right? There's a lot of talk on the bourgeoisie, or if you want to know what we ended up saying in the book club, because I am not a literary person, I called them the bourgeoisies for the first half of the book club because I didn't know how to pronounce bourgeoisie. There's a lot of talk about the bourgeoisie, but there's also not really a lot of talk that, a lot of the upper echelon folks in this area retain a lot of power and wealth, and there's kind of like now just a major separation and just like one even class of nothingness at the very bottom, which you can be a part of as well if you read this book. It seems very much so like I'm trying to come at this from some sort of political angle, and I'm not. It's just the fallacies that I saw in this book. And I'm sure this is, one of many options that are out there for a better understanding of these ideals. I just thought this was always an ironic one to pull out because I had a college professor at one point at the end of my mythology class say that this was the book that I had to read in the summertime for whatever reason. And the more I read it, the more that I just thought it was a very poorly written book, very flawed book, and a very boring book overall. This did nothing really. And out of all the very volatile political books I've read out there of very volatile politics, we're talking politics that led to major issues, deaths, whatever. There were some that were very, at the very least, like motivating. You saw the propaganda behind the book, which was fascinating to look into, regardless of whether or not you believed in the political ideas. It was just fascinating to see the psychology behind what the author was trying to do with the book. There's none of that here. There's no like rah feeling. It's just a bad book. So I thought it would be interesting because I'm sure there are only two camps to this book. One camp here on YouTube would be the pro, right? Like they are pushing this book. They may agree with these ideals, which to each their own, whatever. And then there's another group that is very, very much against this book, but they haven't really read it and they're coming at it from the opposite point of view. And what I don't see very much at all in today's society is somebody fully understanding the position that is coming from a specific belief system, we'll say, and then disagreeing with it. They disagree with an idea without fully understanding the idea. So I am of the mind that if you want to disagree with something, you have to kind of fully read into it, fully understand, like this was recommended to me by a college professor that very much believed in things like this. So okay, I understand that this person is being very motivated by this book, so before I just disagree, I'm going to read it and understand why. But this is, again, where I found the irony in it is it's just an awful book all the way around, regardless of the political idea. So let me know if you guys agree with that or if you disagree. I'm not trying to be super inflammatory here. It was just a fun idea that I had. If you want to see another video on this channel, check out that part of your screen up there, and then also I have the subscribe button over on the other side. This is a very new channel, so I seriously appreciate your support. Thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day.